Welcome to Planting Seeds with the Partnership. My name is Kayla Grigsby, and I am your host for today. We are here talking about family childcare homes, and we have been graced with two of the same namesakes, but they are two phenomenal women in early education. And first, I'd like to say our executive director, Danielle Johnson, is on the call, and we also have Miss Danielle Caldwell, who is a home-based childcare provider. She also is on the NC Family Advisory Council. She serves on the NC Family Child Care Council, and she is also the recipient of the 2021 NC Early Education Coalition
Woo,
Outstanding
clap, clap.
Childhood Advocate. So we have some phenomenal conversation about family childcare homes. Ms. Johnson, Ms. Caldwell.
Hi,
Hello.
Kayla. And I'm just going to say, you can call me DJ. I'll do DJ. And are we okay with saying DC for you, Danielle?
Absolutely. I'm DC.
I think that'd be great. But just again, wanted to congratulate you on all of your accomplishments, on your new award. And it could not be offered to a better person, Danielle. You are phenomenal and are doing great work in the community around family childcare home providers.
Thank you so much. Thank you. As well as Danielle, I'm so honored and privileged to see all that you have done and accomplished at the partnership since you've been here. Yes.
Thanks.
You are quite welcome.
So, ladies, I know the discussion is going to be around family childcare homes, not only the importance, but some of the initiatives that Durham's Partnership for Children has coming up and through the pipeline that will really, really push the envelope for awareness and advocacy and just opening up opportunities for family childcare homes. So, Dr. DJ, soon to be Dr. DJ, can you please just tell us what your vision is for the Family Childcare Home initiative that we are beginning at Durham's Partnership for Children?
Definitely. Thank you, Kayla. And I'm going to hold on to that, Dr. DJ. The dissertation defense is coming up in August, so I'm excited, but yet still, can't fully claim the title as of yet. So that's my disclaimer and disclosure. But I'm just really excited to announce that the partnership, for some time now, since I've been the ED, which is, wow, can you believe, coming up on 3 years in August. One of the big visions that I had was to work with family childcare home providers. And I wanted to do this because I saw this great space that was providing services for children and families, but for some reason, in my opinion, was very much disconnected from the early childhood system that I had grown accustomed to and known through the center-based options. So I kind of, fumbled around with the thoughts of like, why is that? What is it? And lo and behold, an opportunity came forth through funding with Morgan Creek, where we were able to apply for funds and pretty much earmark those to work with family childcare home providers. And while I was designing this creation, I said, I cannot do this work without having conversation, having Danielle Caldwell at the table, who is already a family childcare provider that's licensed and that's in the trenches doing this work, providing high quality, culturally responsive care to children and families. And that's pretty much what I wanted. I wanted a system and space where we would work with family childcare home providers and kind of create a cohort and a fellowship mentoring kind of thing where these providers would come together and we would have space for them to talk about challenges, concerns, while offering, again, those resources and on best practice on how to truly, implement culturally responsive curriculum, how to engage with families, and just kind of help to elevate an already existing system, but just to bring it to the next level. And that's pretty much what's the vision and how can we execute and create that. So I'm really excited that now we will be launching it with our interest session that we're having on June 15th. So just really eager and excited to get our first cohort together of family childcare home providers.
For Danielle Caldwell, DC, I'd like to know from you, just being in the trenches as a home-based provider and really advocating for family childcare homes, what is it that you'd like to see or that you feel is truly missing from, and that may be too broad of a question, but I know you're a wealth of knowledge in your area, so just share with us some important things that we need to know about family childcare homes.
First, let me start by saying that, Danielle is quite right. I've worked with Danielle in the partnership for a number of years in the capacity of representing family childcare homes. But oftentimes, the things that I was voting on and even advising and giving my input on did not affect family childcare homes for the fact that a lot of funding does not include family childcare homes because they feel like it's not enough of a sample that they can pull data from. And so it's how I met Danielle, is that oftentimes I would speak to the issues of family childcare home, and because I had a captive audience, but it was never about family childcare. So to me, what this means is showing the importance of this space, because all spaces are meant to serve children, and that should be a parent's choice as to whether or not they want to have their children cared for in a home setting as opposed to a center setting, and that we educate children, and the outcomes that we have with children are just as important as centers. So that is one of the things that I would really like to advocate, is that because it's home-based childcare does not mean that it's any less effective.
Exactly.
That is so true. And just me, myself, having my child currently in a family childcare home, I can attest to that. I think that the smaller sizes is good for the attention that she needs. And each child is different, but I agree, it should be up to the parent. Danielle, so DJ, is there anything that you'd like to add or discuss as far as just how the partnership can collaborate and work together to figure out what issues we want to really address with family childcare homes, and maybe stigmas that are already out there, and how we want to change the narrative?
Definitely. So I definitely want to dismantle the narrative that quality care can only happen in a center-based setting. That's number one, because that is not true. We do know that there are other options, and my goal is to really align, again, that quality that we know is taking place, and to elevate that. So what I'm looking to do is, again, partners. So when you say, how can I put this? We're not one to come in and dictate what needs to be done. That's not our approach. We are just a partner. So we're going to come in and partner with family childcare home providers and have them identify, here's the areas that I'm challenged with. Here's what I'm struggling with, or here's how I would like to elevate and improve my services, and how I incorporate, let's say, nutrition into my curriculum. So that's the first thing. So we're going to do an assessment with each family childcare home provider that is going to work with us. There will be a plan that is developed with our new highly staffed member. We just hired Letitia Langhorn. She is our family childcare home specialist, and she will work individually with each provider in creating their plan, their unique plan. Like with children, every child is unique and different, but yet we might still have that same lesson plan, but modify it to meet the needs of each children. Pretty much similar with the partnerships approach. We're going to modify our services and what we do offer to ensure that the family childcare home provider will have the resources that they need to execute and implement within their particular setting. So that's really our first primary goal, is create those individual plans that are based on the provider's needs, listening to the provider and partnering with them in creating how they would like to improve their services and how they operate and deliver in the community.
Now, what I'm interested in knowing from both of you, but what do you all feel like culturally, and that's because we've had a conversation offline, is missing, and how can we do better in increasing cultural competence within family child care homes?
This is DC, and I'm going to start by saying that each particular family is going to determine what culturally relevant or culturally responsive practices is. And that means that you have to build a relationship with that family. Culture does not necessarily mean race. Mm-hmm. There could be a culture in athletics, there could be a culture you could be a part of the vegan culture. And so understanding each family's unique cultural footprint is going to help you serve that family, because it's important that the children see themselves reflected in their learning environment. And so that is what I mean when I say culturally responsive. But we also cannot be remiss about the culture that we live in. It's a race-driven society. And what that means is that the cultural norm is usually through a white lens. And so we're not saying forget about the white lens or the white race, but what we're saying is that we are a diverse group of people and an anti-bias curriculum. And we want to make sure that family childcare homes as well as centers understand what that is. But being culturally responsive means serving and viewing the classroom environment to be reflective of the students that you serve.
Danielle, I could not have said it better. I mean, it was almost as though I was already hearing Dr. Gloria Ladson Billings, who is very much responsible for the culturally relevant pedagogy. So Danielle, DC hit it. That's exactly, we want to create a space that is prepared and ready to receive the various cultures of children and families. And it starts with that relationship. You know, how do you build authentic relationships? So it doesn't mean that we're just going to talk about potluck food and celebrating cultures through that means, but really understanding the uniqueness of each of our families and celebrating and honoring that uniqueness, and not seeing it as a hindrance of how do I conform this family to fit into what I need to create success for their child. That is not the approach. We are very much child-focused and child-centered, that we will go by the child's guidance. How the children and families guide and lead, that's how we come around and support and just, again, help them to achieve success as defined by that family. Because, again, we don't want to define success for a family. We want the family to state, here's what I would like to secure for my child, and then show what, again, is developmentally appropriate so that everyone can have an understanding. But I really liked how Danielle mentioned doing this without having the white baseline. We're not basing this on the white norms of society.
What I want to know from you, DC, is why is a partnership like this important? Why is a program like this with Durham's Partnership for Children important? And what would you do to encourage someone who's thinking about starting a family child care home?
First, I want to say that this is very important at this stage in time because we have not had support services specifically geared toward family childcare homes. As a family childcare provider, we work very long hours. I've never seen an industry where a standardized workday is 12 to 16 hours of just providing care. That does not include lesson planning, paperwork, meal planning, and staying abreast of the training and all of the other regulatory things. So it can be a very isolating field to be in. And so we have to meet family childcare providers where they are, and to see an organization decide to focus primarily on building up family childcare homes, meeting them exactly where they are. That's a refreshing idea because oftentimes agencies tell us who we need to be in order to provide quality service, and quality looks different. We do know that. And so that's what I think it means. I think it means that you all are championing boots on the ground. Oftentimes, this is a very hidden population of workers who are underrepresented, underappreciated, and of course underpaid. This is also an opportunity to build, I hope, advocates, because when we realize just everything it is that we do, oftentimes, I hate to say this, but I think you'll find it to be true. As women, we don't worry about how much work it is. We worry about getting the job done.
Absolutely.
And oftentimes it's at an expense of our rest and well-being.
Yes.
So I applaud the partnership and Danielle Johnson for taking on this role to alleviate and support family childcare homes.
Well, DC, I thank you for doing this life work with me, because that's exactly what it is. It's his life work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so important because we are building tomorrow's future. We are the brain builders. Development research tells us that this is the time when we are building the architect of the child's brain. And if we don't get it right, there's no do-overs.
You got it.
Wow. Wow. And when you say it like that, that should put a whole different perspective to how we think about family childcare homes and early education in general.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, I want to thank you for taking the time out to just speak on and amplify this highly important topic that our listeners, I hope, will take something from it and get involved. Thank you for listening to Planting Seeds with the Partnership. If you'd like to get involved or know more information about Durham's Partnership for Children and the wonderful work they are doing, please visit www.dpfc.net.